Roll Tide, everybody. What do you say? Welcome to the Bama Tailgate Show. We're going to talk Bama and Florida State. Yep, the game is here. And what does that mean for Alabama, for Ty Simpson? Some injuries. Are you worried about that? The weather, you worried about that? I'm going to get Shank's opinion. Show's brought to you by Pearl River Resort over there in Philadelphia, Mississippi. The Azaleas, the Oaks, two amazing courses at Dancing Rabbit. How about the Sports Book, the Timeout Sports Lounge at Golden Moon Casino? Yeah, you don't have to go all the way out to Vegas to put your money down on the Tide. We're going to talk about all of this football coming up this Saturday, some big games right here on the show. So without further ado, let's get it going. All right, roll tide, everybody. Welcome to the Bama Tailgate Show. Alphonse Taylor, we know him as Shank. I'm Mick Gillespie. You guys can call me Mick. Great to see you, Shank. I'm going to tell you, man, the nerves are starting to hit for me, and I'm not even playing in the game. So my first question for you is best way to temper first game nerves. Ty Simpson, all of these other guys that are playing for Alabama going down to Tallahassee. Your advice to them.
Man, we always talk about trust the process, right? Man, so part of the trust in the process is trusting your preparation, man, because it's not like we're going into this blind, man. Those guys are working hard. They're putting the work in, putting the time in, getting the reps that they need every day. And so once you actually get to the game, man, you should have that knot in your stomach, not because you're nervous, but because you finally get to go have fun. The practices are over. The going against your own guys is over. We finally go get to put all that work and all that effort that we put into practice. We finally get to go reap the reward from that, man. So my advice would be to just have faith in yourself and have faith in the preparation that you've put in, because that's the reason we practice the way we do. They always say you don't practice until, you get it right. You practice until you can't get it wrong. And anybody that's played at Bama will tell you, man, we get reps in. We get a bunch of reps in at practice, man. And you should have faith in those reps, As long as you're putting in the time to scout your opponent, right? You're watching the film, you're doing what you have to do at practice. There's nothing to be nervous about. Because at the end of the day, we're still Alabama. We're still one of the best teams in the country. And when you work and prepare yourself the way we do, that's what gives you the faith in that. That's what gives you the faith in the standard, because it's not something that everybody can do and everybody can go through. Just looking back on it now that I'm not a player now, man, it was some of the stuff we did and went through was absolutely insane. Like, you had to have slipped a little bit away from sanity to chase that dream that you had, man. And so I think they should have faith in that, because, like I said, this isn't a game for everybody, and we've put the work in, they've put the work in, and they should be ready to reap the benefits from that.
I guess to me, I'm curious, and I wasn't out on the football field like you, but how physical do these practices and scrimmages get going into the season? And did you see guys getting hurt, in the years you were there? Because I know there were some years where I don't remember what year it was, but they won the national championship, but Bama had like no linebackers at one point, and then you guys, I feel like it was a lot of running backs that were going down, and then that was why Derrick Henry got all those carries, because everybody kept getting hurt at running back. And so you lose three really crucial players, but if you don't practice physical, then how are you going to go in the game and be physical, right?
See, that's the thing, man. You've heard the phrase, as long as time, iron sharpens iron, right? And so with that being said, we get after it at practice, dog. Just like, and you got to think the guys that we're lining up against when we go one offense against one defense. So you got a Joe Moore Award offensive line when we were there, going against an All-American defensive line backed up by All-American linebackers, guys like Reuben Foster, Sean Dion Hamilton. And then up front, you got Jaron Reed, Ashawn Robinson, Jonathan Allen. You got Ryan Anderson off the edge. or Tim Williams off the edge. And so it was one of those things, man, that if you didn't bring it, you were going to get embarrassed. You were going to get embarrassed. And I just think back, I think back to all those team run periods we had, man, where me and Reuben Foster met in the hole, and it's like you heard a car wreck, right? And that was just that practice. But I think that's what prepared us for the type of team that we were. We were absolutely physical. We beat people up, but you know how it goes, man. You got to practice the way you play. You can't have a soft practice then expect to turn it on game day and think you're gonna go and do that for 4 quarters. No, I think that's what made us better than a lot of people. We were able to outlast people, man. We beat up on you. We beat up on you in the run game. We weren't afraid to hit you on defense. Even our DBs were coming up tackling people. You remember we played Leonard Fournette, and everybody just absolutely feared him, man. He's just Leonard Fournette. He's such a physical runner. You got all these highlights of him just face palming people from damn Auburn, and they think he's the second coming of Jesus. And then he plays against us, and you got damn Geno Smith coming down from the cornerback spot, biting ankles and making tackles. And, that doesn't happen by not practicing the way that we did. And, we fit people up and we hit people even in practice. I mean, we tried not to go to the ground, but when you play the physical as we did, it just happens sometimes. And I think through that, we created an identity for ourselves and we had a brand of football that worked for us.
Yeah.
And so I would like to think that Bama is still keeping on with that trend, man, because you can't go out there and play on a high level on Saturdays if you're not pushing yourself to play that way through practice.
Yeah. Right. Right.
And
Right.
and like we talk receiver room, man. I think back on Amari Cooper and Calvin Ridley and all those guys, and those were some of the hardest practicing guys I've ever seen. Like Amari Cooper catches a damn 5 yard pass and he's trying to score it every time. That's
Yeah.
because he practiced that way. And so
Yeah.
when he got in the game, that's why it didn't surprise me, man, where he's always taking smoke screens 60 yards to the house because he practiced that way. And so that's why we practice hard, man. We practice physical. We got after each other. We held each other accountable. Um, and that was day in and day out. And that's the only way we knew. Because we all know, man, the SEC is a physical conference.
Right. Yeah.
People are cracking helmets, it's bodies flying. You're getting after it. And that's the brand of football we've always leaned on. And it's only one way to play that way, and it's to practice that way.
Do you remember anybody getting hurt in those like preseason camps and being like, man, I can't believe we're going to lose this guy?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, injuries happen. Injuries happen. I remember Sean Dion going down a couple times, Reuben Foster going down. Hell, I went down in fall camp my senior year, concussion. But that's just the way we got after it, man. It was just part of it. And so you just kind of charge it to the game and charge it to the culture. But I will say when you got a training staff with guys like Jeff Allen,
Yeah.
we had Miss Ginger at the time, you got Jeremy, you got all those guys. They got us back quick, man. And I don't think they rushed us back either. Like they took care of us. I remember I had my surgeries and I had to sit and do physical therapy and stuff, man. And they took care of me day in and day out, and they got me
Right.
back.
Yeah.
And I think that's because when you play the brand of football that we play, it has to be the entire organization has to be bought into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we were. That there was no room for sitting out 2, 3 weeks just because you got a little ankle bruise, right?
Right.
And
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It's just like, hey, ice it down. Be in the training room 6, 7 a.m. whatever time we tell you to be here, and we're gonna get you prepped and ready for the day. And that's the way we move. That was our mentality, man. And honestly, the way Cochran used to do to hurt people, you'd rather be practicing than be hurt anyway, because that bike and that whole little injured man circuit you go through is pure hell. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie to
Right.
you, dog.
Yeah. They
And,
didn't make
and
it
but
comfortable.
yeah, but that's what I mean, man. The entire organization was bought into the brand of football that we played. And I mean, injuries were just part of it. And yeah, we had guys go down, but you know what I say, Mick. It's the next guy up, and
Yep.
that's always been the process. That's always been the mentality. Because at the end of the day, if you're at a place like Alabama, you have a chance to play. You
Yeah.
have a chance to play because we're heavy hitters. We play a hard nosed brand
Mhm.
of football. Man, you need bodies to do that.
Guys, we're going to be at Bowden's tomorrow, 1 to 3 Central, but it's actually 2 to 4 Eastern time. Jay Coker and me swing by, watch the show. We're trying to get Shank in there as well via video. But the normal cast of characters, Clint Lamb's going to jump on with us as well from Cover Crimson, my other home. But yeah, if you're going to Tallahassee, come by, have a beer with us. We'll talk some football, and we'll get you ready for the Coker Bowl. The second thing is this right here, is that if you need tickets for Wisconsin, we're giving away 2 sets of Wisconsin tickets through our AveD home. Yeah, join Mick Nation, stay connected. We'll have parlays and games. Everything's free. Just use that QR code. I'll leave it up there. And, one of the things we're doing is we're going to give away 2 sets of Wisconsin tickets. So, you can come hang with us. All right. We talked about the injuries. Now, this is my next question for you. They're calling for rain. So we don't know yet. You know how the weather is, but we live down here. You and I live, as we like to call it, LA, Lower Alabama. We
That's
know about how
right.
the weather is here. It's different in
Right.
Tuscaloosa. Florida State's in Tallahassee, very similar to the weather down here. So they're saying it's going to rain. Bigger concern to you, Bama without Cam Miller, without Tim Keenan, without Jaden Jaden Roberts, or the weather, rain, the way that Bama played last year in that bowl game in Tampa. Couldn't catch a snap in the rain, fumbling the ball, punting. We got special teams we don't know about. What are you
Hey
concerned
man,
about?
I think my biggest concern is the injuries because I've seen us play really well in bad weather. You know, you think back to that LSU game last year, we had our way that entire game, and it was just a downpour. It rained the entire game, and we absolutely had our way in the run game. But I am concerned about the injuries because we're missing Tim Keenan, who was a big part of that defensive front, right? And Jaden Roberts, who's a huge part of that offensive line, being one of the returning guys, one of those watch list guys who is set to have a big year. And so my concern is who are the guys that's going to step up in those spots. You know, if we were talking later on in the season, 4 to 5 games in, I wouldn't be as much as concerned about injuries, but we're talking first game of the season. So that's going to force some people into some early playing time that they may not be, absolutely ready for. But there's nothing like trial by fire, man.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. The best, I feel like that's the best teacher you can have is learning to play ball in the fire because at the end of the day, man, the speed of the game is the speed of the game, and the only way to catch up to it is to jump in it and find yourself. And so I'm definitely more concerned about the injuries than the weather because we're gonna see some guys having to play who usually aren't in those starting roles.
Right, right, right.
Um, and they have some big shoes to fill. They have some big shoes to fill. Um, but I'm not too concerned with the weather, man, because like I said, I've seen us perform in the weather before. And hopefully with Grubb at the helm, man, we'll lean heavy on that run game. We'll still get the passing game going. There's ways around that, and so I'm looking to see who we put in these spots to replace these guys that we have out right now to start the game, start the season.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Like with Tim Keenan, I'm thinking Jeremiah Beeman, redshirt freshman. I know the guy can play, right? James Smith Jr. We've seen him start at defensive tackle. Pretty strong guy. He can do nose tackle. Edric Hill, redshirt sophomore, could play both defensive tackle and nose guard. And that's what this is all about. I mean, it's like anything else. Did you ever have to switch positions because somebody got hurt?
Oh yeah, man. when you play offensive line, like for me, I played guard, and so you just kind of learn left and right guard. And I mean, if you know one side, you know the other. You just flip the play in your head, honestly. The biggest thing is the footwork. You know, I'm a right-handed guy, so being on the right side is more natural to me. And you go to that left side, you just kind of have to flip the footwork in your head as well because everything's opposite. But you get used to it, and that's just part of it, man. I mean, when you're versatile like that, it just adds more value to you and gets you on the field faster. And so I just heard you name a few redshirt freshmen. So these guys have a chance to get a lot of meaningful PT here. I think with Tim Keenan going down, it's probably going to be replacement, by committee. They're going to roll guys into that spot and see how they do. Um, but at the end of the day, football is football. You got to strap it up. You got to hit somebody. You got to play ball, man. And that's the beauty of it. You don't have to know everything as long as you're willing to go 100% and throw your body around the whole game. You'll come out on the better end more often than not.
2:30 on Saturday from Doak Campbell Stadium, Tallahassee. Bama's still a 13.5-point favorite. The spread is 50.5. And again, you guys could swing over to the Golden Moon Casino and hit the sports book there, the Timeout Sports Lounge, and and bet that if you want to. What is your feelings on the game? And look, I know we're a Bama show. I know we're heavily Bama, but I mean, if you're handicapping this thing, how are you feeling? And I'm going to tell you right now, the weather and the injuries kind of make me feel like the under might be a good play.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I feel like that, it ends up turning the exact opposite. Like you said, that LSU game didn't stop. That was Jalen Milrose. He killed them. Like two games against them, he destroyed those guys. So, but I'm just curious. Like what are your thoughts? Would you, if you were handicapping this one, Shank's cappers, what are you doing here?
Shank's cappers. That's insane. Man, but how am I feeling about it? At first, I was thinking we beat them by 21, right. But you take into account the injuries. We're down a starting running back. We're down a starting offensive guard. We're down a starting defensive tackle. I still think we win by 14.
Wow.
Honestly, man, it just because, dog, it's hard to explain, man. When you're a player and you're coming off a disappointing season, and we're not talking about disappointing like Florida State's disappointing. We're talking about there's a certain standard that you have for your program, and there's a standard that guys before you set, right? And you don't live up to that standard. You only win 9 games. They're coming into the game hungry, man, and I think that's going to push us over the hump, and we're going to have a great game. And so I don't think having those guys down is going to affect us too much in the overall gameplay. And I still think we win by 14.
Okay, so you're taking Bama in the over.
Yeah,
I got you.
Absolutely.
You don't believe in that that always take a home dog, and that's a double-digit home dog. The problem is that this one could be. I'll say this. Now I'm taking my Bama degree. My sister went to Bama. My nephew's there right now. My crimson colored glasses, as Feinbaum used to say all the time. And I'm just looking at this like from like a handicapping perspective, right? Florida State won 2 last year. But the year before that, they won all the regular season games. Now they had 30 guys transfer out. They did the same thing this year. They got rid of a bunch of guys and they brought a bunch of new guys in. I think Roydell Williams plays for Florida State, former Bama guy. He's going to have that team fired up. I want to show my old team what's up. I just look at this and it's like, I just don't know what to expect with Florida State. I kind of have an idea of what to expect from Alabama, although they were a little inconsistent, right? But with Florida State, I'm like, there's a chance they're worse than last year, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're going to be better. even
Absolutely.
though they got rid of like 30 dudes.
Absolutely. I mean, because traditionally Florida State's a very good program, and it's not to be overlooked, and by no way am I overlooking them, but at the same time, I seen something the quarterback said. He said the hardest defense he's ever faced is the defense he's practicing against now.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, this guy transferred in from Boston College. And so if the hardest defense you have faced is a Florida State defense that has been pieced together over the offseason, I don't think he stands a chance against a Bama returning defense that we have. And I think we're going to be very damn good defensively this year. This is second year in Kane Womack's system. We've seen how good they can be in the back half of the season last year when it finally started to click. And I think we're going to cause problems for them. And I just don't think they're going to be able to keep up with the speed and physicality that we play with.
Well, I would love that. I mean, you talk about them going out. They got Squirrel White from Tennessee, big playmaker. Yeah. Roydell Williams was injured last year. He's back. They won't have LaWayne McCoy. He's out with an injury.
Right.
Defensive tackle Kevin Wynn's out with an injury. Squirrel White's missed some time in camp, but you know him from Tennessee. He's had some big games. Bama, obviously, without their players. I just don't know that they just got too much money. You know what I'm saying? Like when you can go out and get Gus Malzahn to leave his job as a head coach and be your offensive coordinator. Mike Norvell's a good coach.
Right.
There's a lot of money in this, but how fast does it take for a team of transfers to come together? Forget about the Bama side of it. If you're Florida State, they went and got Gavin Chinook, the running back from Oklahoma, to transfer in.
Right.
Deuce Robinson transferred from USC at wide receiver. I mean, they didn't go out and just get like chumps. I mean, they got some guys that can play, man.
Yeah.
Randy Pittman from UCF's on this team. They got I forget the guy's first name, Douglas, the tight end from Arizona State.
Right.
They know that this is a make or break season because they're going to fire everybody if they have another two, and they'll hire Coach Prime.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? Coach Prime's sitting there waiting.
I definitely get what you're saying, and I get that you're trying to say forget the Bama side of it, but every guy you just named, I still think we match up better in our spots. Right. And that's what it is at the end of the day. How do we match up in our spots? And I think we have the edge. We got the edge at quarterback, offensive line, running back. Even with Jam Miller going down, with our line up front, I think we'll be just fine. We're talking receivers, man. We still have one of the best receiving corps in the country, in my mind, led by Ryan Williams, right? And then you said the tight end spot. Well, looky here. We got probably one of the best tight ends in the country returning this year. And so, they may have went and got guys in spots.
Right, Josh Quavis,
Yeah, and they're trying to build a team, but we have a team already built. We have guys that already have chemistry. And so we're working on another level than what they're trying to figure out right now. And I think that works in our favor.
Okay. Well, I like hearing it because we'll find out Saturday at 2:30. And again, if you guys are going to be in Tallahassee Friday, come by and watch the recording of the Bama Tailgate Show. We're going to be at Bowden's from actually 2 to 4 Eastern time, 1 to 3 Central. And then you can watch it here or on Cover Crimson, or you can listen to it on radio throughout the state of Alabama. Show is brought to you by, as I mention all the time, Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi, the Azaleas, the Oaks, 2 amazing golf courses there, the Timeout Sports Lounge, table games and slots, everything you need right there at Pearl River. And to end this, the brand new commercials debuting right now.
Nice.
With Jake Coker. You ready to see Jake Coker in commercial fashion?
Let's do it. Send us off in style, dog.
All right, Shank. Talk to you later. And talk to you guys later. Roll Tide, everybody. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Let's enjoy Jake Coker.
I may not suit up on Saturdays anymore, but I'm still in the game.
Let's roll.
In here, I call the plays, make adjustments, and lay it on the line. Want to feel that fire, that rush? Then you've got to get in the game. I used to say it in the tunnel, and I still say it now. Let's roll.